With so much riding on this game, the Premier League, the top four race, Liverpool drew with Arsenal by 2-2. And what a game it was. Join me as we go through some of the major moments that happened during this game, because it was an absolute Premier League classic. Please like the video and subscribe, it really would mean a lot to me. But now, let's discuss Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2. What a game. This had absolutely everything. We were treated to a true Premier League classic. It ended Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2, and really, there is so much to talk about. First of all, in the first half, Liverpool were extremely disappointing, but that was down to Arsenal's great play. You could see in the certain moments where they got the goals, when Arsenal really started to dominate, they really started to gain momentum, they really started to gain possession, and then the crowd started to get out of it, it all started to drift off, and you're thinking, 2-0 Arsenal, they've got it, they've done it, they're fine. And then Granit Xhaka, I've got to say, Granit Xhaka does one of the stupidest things that I've seen in quite some time, getting into a fight with Trent Alexander-Arnold and then causing all of that commotion, waking up the crowd, and then the goal happens. From that moment on, a different Liverpool emerged. They went back in at half-time and they came out a completely different side. If you look at the attacking momentum bar, Liverpool dominated the second half and should have won the game if it wasn't for two amazing Aaron Ramsdale saves. If we have a look at the lineups, because really, there is so much to be discussing here. For the first time, we saw Trent Alexander-Arnold really drift into midfield, and this created a little bit of an overload. It allowed Jordan Henderson to really start moving across the pitch and assisting Mo Salah. A lot of the time to create overlaps instead of Alexander-Arnold doing it. It really turned out to be Jordan Henderson making those runs, allowing Trent to go into midfield, sitting next to Fabinho, allowing Curtis Jones to go up next to Diogo Jota, who ended up playing a little bit deeper. Cody Gakpo then moved over to be next to Rob Holding rather than Gabriel Magalhaes, and really, Liverpool didn't manage to get going in the first half. Arsenal seriously sussed them out. They outworked them, they outfought them, they wanted it that little bit more, and then in the second half, both the goal and the crowd really started to get them into it. I was extremely impressed with Konate. Let's have a look at some of his stats, because he was very, very good. 5 out of his 7 ground duels won, 3 out of his 3 aerial duels. I loved his aggression in the second half, really taking it to Gabriel Jesus, and it was one of the reasons why Jesus had a quieter game. It was because of Konate really stepping into that midfield area when Jesus had the ball, not giving him any time, not giving him any space, and then taking it to Arsenal, allowing Liverpool to get on the front foot, recovering possession a lot. Van Dijk didn't have a great game, especially for the goal that they conceded, the second one, when he completely missed the flight of the ball, completely missed Jesus, allowing Jesus to have a free header on goal. But Konate really compromised for that. He really accounted for that and helped out Van Dijk when he desperately needed it. Thought Fabinho had a better game as well, and generally the entire Liverpool side in the second half looked like a completely different outfit. The energy levels were better, the attacking play was better, they just weren't that clinical, and Mo Salah obviously missing that huge penalty. As for Arsenal, again, we know what we're going to get with Arsenal from the get-go now. We know how good they are. Zinchenko coming into midfield, Granit Xhaka being able to make those long driving runs. Once he got his yellow card, he did stop to step back a little bit. He wasn't as aggressive, he wasn't as forthright, and really started to be out of the game in the second half. And Martin Odegaard really went missing in the second half. I was quite disappointed with the way that he failed to have an impact. Partey was really the only midfielder that actually had a dominating presence in the midfield. If it wasn't for him, you do tend to worry about Arsenal and the way they were defending. I thought that Thomas Partey put out a lot of fires, and if it was anyone else in the middle of the park, I do think that Arsenal have a much tougher game. But Martinelli really was the standout performer for me, really on the edge of the line, and he understood that when Trent went into midfield, Martinelli had to run continuously down through that left-hand side channel for Arsenal, obviously Liverpool's right-hand side. And Bukayo Saka was quite quiet in the game as well, not able to get into it. That's because of the dominance that Arsenal had through their left-hand side, specifically in the first half, and Aaron Ramsdale just making some amazing saves. If we have a look at the average positions for both sides, there are a couple of things I just want to mention as well. Because if you see how deep Liverpool are here, that's because of the penetration that Martinelli gave. That's because of the attacking play that Jesus gave, specifically in the first half. But if you look at Trent's position here, I'm highlighting it here, he is right into the centre of midfield. He's not making these overlapping runs. Instead, it was Jordan Henderson that was coming out and making those as well. Fabinho sitting next to Trent really allowed Trent to play in those long diagonal passes, and also to be able to switch play over to this side, whether it was either Robertson, whether it was Jota, or whether it was Darwin Núñez who came over on in the second half. And then you had Cody Gakpo really drifting over to this Liverpool left-hand side, Arsenal's right-hand side, to be next to Rob Holding, who was sat here. And really, Liverpool played a good game. They just weren't clinical enough. If we have a look at Arsenal as well, because this is the Arsenal team, and look how high Gabriel Martinelli is. He's really penetrating those lines, really being that first line of attack. They really dominated down this side, Arsenal, and they pinpointed Trent coming out into midfield as an ability for Martinelli to really get up high and up the pitch. Bukayo Saka didn't get that much joy on his side, and that's why they really started to lean over to the side that Martinelli was on. Granit Xhaka really did start to drift back a little bit after his yellow card, as I said, and then Martin Odegaard just didn't have the impression that we wanted to. Ben White ended up getting forward a little bit more on this side, which left Gabriel Magalhaes and Rob Holding together. I thought Rob Holding did okay, but you can really see the passing scrutiny from Liverpool started to get to him towards the latter stages of the second half. He really started to struggle, and it was on a couple of occasions that he gave the ball away, and it's just one of those passes that you don't expect William Saliba to be making, one of those mistakes that you don't expect them to be making, and then obviously you have Thomas Partey shielding in front. But overall, the Arsenal positions were very, very good. I thought Zinchenko came into midfield quite well. He understood in the second half when he needed to become a little bit more of a left back rather than going into midfield. Arsenal failed to maintain a lot of the possession, and that's where a lot of the momentum from Liverpool came from. They understood it was going to be a difficult game, and I'm actually quite surprised that they didn't lose the game because of the lack of momentum that the entire Arsenal side just didn't have in the game. They started to let it go. They started to be influenced by the crowd, and once Liverpool got that second, you really did feel that a third one, a winning goal, was coming, but it didn't happen and materialise in the end. Finally, let's have a look at the statistics. And really, it is a tale of what could have been for Liverpool, even though they had such a bad first half. But 3.96 expected goals, 60% possession. Arsenal had nothing in the second half. If we just limit this to the second half, we can see that Arsenal had 33% possession. And obviously Liverpool with 67%. And then let's go back to the entire match, and really 21 shots, 6 on target. Liverpool dominated in that second half and really did show, and I think they probably should have won the game if they had any kind of clear-cut goal-scoring opportunity or goal-scoring players with that clinical ability. 8 chances, 6 missed. 6 big chances missed. You can't do that if you're Liverpool. But in the end, Arsenal get away with a point, and they will be very happy with it, I would imagine. Yes, they were 2-0 up, but Anfield is just different, isn't it? We knew this going into the game. If you've seen my preview, you know that I feel that Anfield is just a different proposition for a lot of teams, especially when Liverpool have their backs up against the wall. They are just different. The crowd is different, and different things happen, and that's exactly what happened today. That's exactly how this game played out. Anfield got amongst the players. The crowd lifted the Liverpool spirits, and they went on and on and on. They don't know when to give up. And in the end, I think if you'd have given Liverpool an extra 5 to 10 minutes, they would have won this game. Arsenal just didn't have their foothold in the match. But they walk away with a vital, vital point. Could that be the point that sends them through to win the title? Or is it going to be the point and the dropped 3 points that they're going to rue? Is this the drawing? Is this the dropped points that means that Arsenal miss out on the title? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But regardless, we witnessed an absolute Premier League classic. That's it for today, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave the video with a like and subscribe if you haven't for more content like this coming very soon. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well. You don't want to miss what's coming up in the near future. And of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you think the game went, and who do you think benefited most? Was it Liverpool or was it Arsenal? Please let me know. I would love to hear from you. But like I said, that's it from me for today. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care of yourselves and bye-bye.